Hey everyone, it's Annie with Manor Farms Homestead. Today we're going to be harvesting sweet potatoes. It's late August and typically sweet potatoes are not harvested until really October, right before frost, but we have some massive plants out here and I've already sampled around through the beds and we've got some nice eating sized potatoes, so we're going to go ahead and get these out of the ground before we have huge sweet potatoes that we can't do anything other than bake pies with. So let me show you what we've got going on around here. This is the garden, and there are two raised beds under this massive pile of sweet potato leaves. Sweet potatoes are actually not a potato, they're in the morning glory family, so they run a lot. But we've got two beds under this big mountain of growth. We planted these in late April, and they've just really taken off. Mainly fertilized with rabbit manure. So it'll be interesting to see what our harvest ends up looking like. Now I've not posted a lot throughout the summer because I took a different job in April and ended up working Monday through Friday instead of a week on, a week off like I had been working. But it looks like in the near future I'll be back on a rotating schedule, so hopefully I'll be able to keep you updated more on the garden. But this is just a massive amount of sweet potatoes. We've got some peanuts in this bed. You can't even see the beds because of the growth. This is a bed that had some beans in it. I've already cleaned it out. And we'll be getting some fall stuff in there shortly. A few late planted tomato plants. I'm not sure if they'll do much of anything. But they're just kind of taking over that bed right now. These were beans and peas. And I've cleaned those out, so we've got some potatoes in this bed, onions in this bed, and carrots in this bed. These are some carrots that I planted about 3 weeks ago now, so they're coming up. I've got a few skips where the dogs were digging that I've replanted. And then these buckets actually had sweet potatoes in them, and I've cleaned those out. I've had some massive sweet potatoes in these buckets, which is why I've decided to harvest the rest of the sweet potatoes early, because I don't need massive sweet potatoes. I like eating size potatoes. So these now have carrots planted in them. Everybody's really noisy this morning. We've got chickens, ducks, cows, dogs barking at all the animals. Okay, so again, there's a late planted tomato in there. That is turmeric, and these are the ever-bearing strawberries. We're going to clean these out. I've decided to go with June-bearing strawberries, so either these get sold or dumped. So I've advertised them. We'll see if anybody's interested in them. And in here, see an eggplant growing in there. This was a bed that really didn't do that well. I have a lot of tomato plants in here that just didn't do well, so it's going to be cleaned out shortly. Got some ginger popping up through all of that massively. A lot of this is sweet potato vines run into that bed. So these are some, I think they were slippery silk beans. They did not do very well at all. They're very poor producers. They are looking better now that some of the heat has dissipated, but they did not do well in our summer heat. They've got some blooms now, so maybe they'll put out a few beans now that it's cooled off, but I don't know that I'll plant those again. Little avocado tree there doing well. My other avocado tree is pretty much on its way out. It did not do well. And I've got actually a little olive tree here, and I'm going to transplant that into a different pot and put it up by the pool. So, all right, so that's a quick tour of this, the end of this summer garden. And we had a really productive, man, you guys are noisy. We had a really productive summer garden out here that we've now let the cows and sheep in on to clean it up. But we had tomatoes in this spot. We had beans through here. You can still see some of the okra plants. We were not good about harvesting the okra in a timely fashion, so that was not really that successful. We had corn through here, and the corn was fantastic. I'll definitely do corn again this next year. So we'll be back shortly and show you the sweet potato harvest. All right, so the better half has arrived, and we're ready to tackle this monster sweet potato mass. So I think the best way to tackle this is going to be going in here, getting all the vines out, and then, well, we're going to take it to the cows right here.
Get a lot more.
So we'll pull all the vines out and then go in and dig out the sweet potatoes. Well, we got ants already. Better bring some ant poison. Come over here away from the ant bed. All of this is going to go to our cows. Yeah, there's huge sweet potatoes in here. So it's good we're pulling these out now. Whew, this is going to be a massive undertaking.
Some cows was waiting.
Yeah, they're standing by the fence. They're like, we know this is for us.
Move, Alice.
Probably should have worn boots. already see lots of big sweet potatoes in here. We'll dig all these out. We're going to get the other bed cleaned out, and then we'll dig these. All right, so we've cleared out 1.5 beds. We had a full truckload full of vines that we've taken out to the cows, and then we're going to get started with this last, or finish up this last bed. As you can see, we've got lots of big sweet potatoes in here. It'll be interesting once we start digging. This bed looks like it doesn't have as many sweet potatoes. We have a bunch of the purple ones in here. It doesn't look like, unless they're buried deep, that they did as well. We'll see once we dig in. See, I see lots of roots like this on the purple ones. So I don't think that they made as well.
Well, babes, we can walk through here now.
Yeah. This thing is just better to pull. This is hard work.
It's just hot and humid.
Some of these I think definitely could have gone longer. Some of them are huge. That's a good one. You have to balance between getting some that are smaller and then plenty of good eating size ones versus good eating size ones and massive ones. So despite all those vines, the sweet potatoes really just grow at the spot that you plant the original start.
All right, I guess I'm gonna go dump this load.
Why don't you just wait and we'll dig these out.
Because I need my truck so I can go
But
get
then
gas.
I've got to walk with you and open gates.
I'll just do it without you.
So,
It'll just take me longer.
well, at least they're all occupied eating their last batch, so maybe they won't rush the gates. Good loose soil is really important for growing big sweet potatoes. They don't do particularly well with really heavy clay soils, which is a lot of what we have here. But this is a raised bed, so it's heavily amended with cow manure, compost, rabbit manure compost. Right here by that ant bed.
Here you go. You look pretty hot.
Thank you.
Is there worms in here?
Probably.
Snakes?
Can you open it for me? Oh, Johnny's. Well, no, I guess he's got it. Why don't you go help him with the gate?
Opened it.
Thank you. What are you barking at, Allie? Well, that's Lola barking. The beast of sweet potato. You can dig these out with a potato fork, but there's a chance that you end up sticking them. Those are huge. There's a decent sized white one. Another one. Another one. Good. Curious to see how these white sweet potatoes turn out cooked. I've never had them. Some of these will definitely have to be shared with my parents because the deer ate all my dad's sweet potatoes this year. Didn't have any. Fortunately for us, we're fenced back here and have lots of border collies, so the deer don't come in our yard. Well, this is the haul from one bed. It's a pretty full wheelbarrow load full of sweet potatoes. So I've got one more bed to dig up, and we'll see what our haul for the year is. Okay, so we finished digging all the sweet potatoes by hand. I'll go back through here with a fork and see if there's anything left behind. This is what we got out of the second bed. A lot more eating sized potatoes out of this bed instead of the really big ones that came out of the other bed. I did find one plant of my purple sweet potatoes down there, but overall, purple sweet potatoes did not do very well. I planted quite a few of those, but really only saw one that produced any potatoes. There's a few regular potatoes in there that I dug up from where they were planted in the spring. Overall, I'd say the Beauregards definitely did the best. The white O. Henrys didn't do that well, and the purple ones didn't do that well. So, a good year for the Beauregards.